What's up, guys? Welcome back once again to another video on the YouTube channel. This is a weekly recap. This is a recap of the first video that I posted earlier in the week, giving you guys opportunities that I'm looking at going into this new week. And just like I anticipated in the first video, I was able to spot a lot of opportunities, especially on US on gold, and I shared all these setups in the first video that I posted. I will leave the link right at the top corner of this video. I will recommend you watch that first video before you come and watch the video, so I will get a better understanding of how I was able to anticipate these kind of moves on the market. And if you are not in my Telegram channel, guys, you are missing out. I gave out a lot of free signals this week in my Telegram channel, and also my VIP members, my VIP signal members also made a lot of money just by taking my signals and managing their risks. All right, so I recommend that if you are not in my public Telegram channel, I'll leave the link right in the description below. I recommend you join this channel so that whenever I post free signals, you will also be able to capitalize on it and also make money, right? So this week has been such a profitable week, and I won't waste my time. I'll just dive straight into the first trade that I took going into this week, right? I took my first trade on USOIL. Let me just take my replay tool and just start taking it one by one so you guys will understand how I was able to anticipate this direction. Like I said, I recommend you watch the first video before you come to watch this video so you get better understanding, right? So going to a daily time frame on USOIL last week, okay, on the first video, we were able to establish the fact that the market was retesting to a previous resistance, now turning support, right? The market was retesting to a previous resistance, now turning support right here. This was our previous resistance. Which is now turning support right here. And I said earlier on that since the market has broken above our previous resistance and it's now retesting to our previous resistance, then there's a very high possibility for price to reverse all the way to the upside. And also, one thing that I also said in the previous video was that price just created a counter trend. All right, and if you want to get a better understanding of what I mean by a counter trend, watch the first video and you're going to get it. We also established another fact that on the forward, that after price retesting to our previous resistance, now turning support, what did price do? Price started, or before price retested to our previous resistance, now turning support, price started moving to that zone correctively, all right, which we were able to anticipate by seeing this beautiful price action, all right, by seeing this beautiful price action play out on the 4-hour time frame, which looked very, very good. It's a very nice impulse correction movement for which I explained everything in the previous video. When you see this kind of pattern and you see this kind of corrective move, you're obviously expecting price to make another move to the upside, breaking these highs to complete the pattern, the impulse pattern, all right? And that's exactly what happened on USOIL, right? But what I didn't say in the previous video, all right, was the fact that I was anticipating price to do what? After price giving us a first touch at our previous resistance, now turning support, I was anticipating price to do what? To come back once again to this zone to form something like what? Form something like a double bottom formation before price was making that push to the upside. But price didn't do what? Price failed to create this double bottom that I'm anticipating, and that's one of the best characteristics that makes a profitable trader. You don't predict the market, you react, right? You don't try to predict what's going to happen, as you react. You can make your anticipations, but then be available to react to whatever that the market does, all right, so that you won't miss out on any opportunity. So let's see what the market did. After price retesting to our previous resistance, now turning support right here, all right, price made a move right here, which also broke above this zone, because you can see we have a zone here. Price broke above it and price came all the way to retest it, giving us a very beautiful inverse head and shoulder pattern right here. Inverse head and shoulder pattern form right here. All right, let me just take the lines off so you see things much clearer, right? You can see this beautiful inverse head and shoulder pattern right here. We have our first hot shoulder, head, shoulder, another retest right here. In a very, very, very beautiful inverse head and shoulder pattern. And immediately I was able to spot this. What did I do? I jumped on the 1 hour time frame. All right, I jumped on the 1 hour time frame, and I was able to take the trade right on the retest of the final shoulder of the inverse head and shoulder pattern. And look at how price played out. Very beautiful price action. Price went all the way, broke above our previous high, which was here. You can see I was able to catch about 300 pips plus. All right, and I didn't do this alone. I did this with my my VIP members. All right, and I will leave the link to the screenshot that I took on MetaTrader right on the screen somewhere, so you can also see that this is not just a markouts that I'm doing. I actually took this trade in my trading account. All right, about 300 pips moves that I took with my VIP members. All right, and it was a very beautiful one. And there's also there's some setups that I also sent out free to the Telegram, the public Telegram that I recommend you join. All right, so this setup was a very beautiful one, smooth one. Look at how price moved all the way to hit our take profit, and that was the first trade that we took within the week, and also a beautiful one. So it was a very good momentum. It was a very good start of the week, having this beautiful setup play out right at our first trade of the week. It was a very good one. Now let's talk about our second trade that we took of the week, right? Let's talk about our second trade that we took of the week. Our second trade was actually on gold, right? But since we are on USOIL, I want to just finish on USOIL, so I'm gonna move to gold. I won't come back again, right? So the second trade that we took on USOIL was this one, this setup right here, this beautiful setup right here. That was a very beautiful one. Now, after price, giving us this beautiful trade right here, we saw price making this huge rejection to the downside. All right, price making this huge rejection to the downside. Honestly, I wasn't expecting price to make this huge move to the downside. I thought price would just pull back a little bit, all right, and then head further to the upside, all right. But then price didn't behave that way. That's why as a trader you always need to be reactive, not predictive. Just react to what the market is doing. So price just made a huge move coming to the downside, pulled back a little bit, and made another drop to the downside. All right, and immediately price did that because when price got to this fair zone right here, all right, when price got to this fair zone right here, it was still bullish for me because that was our previous resistance now turning support that I took this first trade on, and it was I felt like it's still bullish because price can just come to the zone and just reverse back all the way to the upside. So I wanted price to really commit itself that it's going to further move to the downside before I do anything else. So I was just like, let me just be patient on it. And what did price do? Let's go to the 1 hour. Everything looks beautiful on the 1 hour, right? Everything looks beautiful on the 1 hour. And like I said, I shared all these trades with my VIP members and also my free Telegram group. All right. So if you're not part, I recommend you join. So you can see that I was waiting for the price to make a better commitment. And what did the price do? Price made a strong impulsive move to the downside, breaking below our previous support, now turning resistance right here. This zone right here was our previous support. This zone was our previous support, and now it's turning resistance right in this zone. So what did I do? What did I do after noticing that price was coming back to the zone? I just used my my Fibonacci to measure the impulse, and immediately price got to my golden Fibonacci level, which is the 0.618. I went down the lower time frames, all right, to look for a better entry. All right, I went on the 30 minutes and 50 minute time frame, got a very beautiful entry, and look at how price did. Price made another huge drop, all right, huge drop all the way to the downside, giving me about 400 pips on this move. So you have already got 300 pips on this move, all right, and we got another 400 pip move on USOIL in the same week, all right. So let's just move on to gold, right? Let's move on to gold. Gold was also one of the beautiful setups that we took in the week, and it was such a nice, it was such a nice experience. Being able to patient and also execute our edge on the market. It was such a beautiful one. In the previous video, I explained all the reasons why I was anticipating more bearish momentum on gold after price retesting to this zone. I explained all the reasons why you're expecting price to make a huge push to the downside. All right, even price coming down to this low. Look at how it's happening. Price did exactly that. Price made a huge move all the way to the low that we are expecting. All right, and if you want to get a better understanding, like I'm saying, please watch the first video before you come here, so you can get a better understanding of how I was able to come up with these trades, right? So in the daily time frame, we were able to establish a simple fact, all right. Even though we spoke about the weekly time frame in the other video, I don't want to talk about it because I want to make this video as short as possible, right? So I don't want to go on the weekly time frame, so let's just start from the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you're able to establish a clear concept that price did what? Price just formed an overextended information, and price is currently doing what? Price we tested the neckline of the overextended the information, and we're expecting price to make a bearish momentum. Now this is our overextended information. Beautiful overextended information. All right, price came all the way to test this zone, and immediately price came to this zone. You saw this move to the downside. So when price formed this overextended information, we were just expecting price to do what? To make a further push to the downside. So what did we do? We just went quietly on our 1 hour time frame. We are currently on a daily time. Sorry, on the 4 hour time frame. We are currently on the daily time frame. So we went on our 4 hour time frame to look for trading opportunities. So on our 4 hour time frame, we were able to establish a clear fact. All right, a clear fact that price just made an impulsive move to the downside and is currently retracing. So obviously, what we need to do here is what? Is use our Fibonacci tool to measure the impulse, and it's going to give us possible zones where price can do what? Price can reverse to the downside. And when we use our Fibonacci to measure the impulse, price did what? Price gave us a very beautiful price action right there. All right, price gave us a very beautiful price action right there. You can see that price was currently in between the 0.382 and 0.5 Fibonacci level. So what did we do? We just went on the 1 hour time frame. Went on the 1 hour time frame. All right. Like I said, I sent this signal to my VIP members. All right, and I believe they all made really good money this week. All right. So when I went on the 1 hour time frame, I saw this beautiful price action playing out right. So I just waited for price to commit itself well by making a clear push to the downside. And our price making a clear push to the downside, what did I do? I just placed my order right at this zone right there, and price did what? Price came all the way back. So we test that zone, and you can see a clear move. Right. So this is what we had our retest. Price did what? Price made a strong push to the downside. Strong push to the downside. So I think this was on Monday. All right, we took this trade on Monday. So on Tuesday, all right, during the London session, all right, when price got to this low right here, and price was actually consolidating, all right, I was still on splitting further move to the downside. So therefore, what did I do? I wanted to see there's a strategy that I will shoot a video on very soon. It's called the London session breakout strategy. All right, so I was waiting for a clear breakout. Immediately price give me the clear breakout. All right, I took this trade right on the retest of it. All right, and you can see this beautiful trade playing out. All right, so this was about 200 pips move. This was about 100 pips plus move. So in our quarter, about almost 400 pips alone. All right, on gold, and it was crazy. And guys, I said this is not just markups that I'm going to show you guys in the video. I'll leave all the screenshots of the trades that I took right on the screen so that I can also check it out. All right, this was a very beautiful trade that I executed. I even sent this signal to my free Telegram group where I share educative content and free forex analysis. I even shared this initial trade that we took right here. I shared the analysis with them, and I believe strongly all of them made money, and I saw a lot of them showing positive reactions in the group. All right, so just join the group, join the Telegram channel, the fast growing Telegram channel, if you really want to be part of it. If there's any other trade coming up again. So the last trade that I took during this week was on GBP NZD. All right, GBP NZD. So let me just bring this pair up. GBP NZD. All right, this trade actually was messing around for some time, but then it was able to give us something nice. All right, let me just take my replay tool right here. Where's my replay tool? So this is the last setup, and we are done for the week. This is the last setup that we took, and we were able to finish with the week. Yeah, so on GBP NZD, all right, what we saw on GBP NZD was price did what? Price made a strong push to the downside and started moving back to the upside correctively. to retest this previous or support, now turning resistance right here. So as a smart trader, when you see this, what do you need to do? The only thing we need to do is what? Is to be patient. So we used our Fibonacci retracement tool to measure the impulse, and we saw that price came all the way to retest to our only Fibonacci level, which also aligns perfectly with structure. You can see this as a zone here. This other zone right here, so you can see how the Fibonacci level is aligning perfectly with structure right here. And what did I do next? Because I wanted the price to comment itself very well, I waited for a clear push to downside, and what did the price do? Price came all the way back to test to trigger my zone right here, and price made another strong push all the way to the downside. But what actually happened on GBP NZD was my first TP was just around this zone, right? My first TP was just around this zone, right? But then when price almost got to if I was around my piece when price got to this zone, I would have closed the trade, but I wasn't around. When I came back, price had already come close to my TP, and price started pulling back to the upside. But then price started making a lot of corrections right here. I was like, what is really going on in GBP NZD? And I understood, because this was our previous structure. All right, this was our previous structure. This was our previous support. That price was coming to test that same zone again. All right, so I understood why price was just moving, just bouncing off this zone, and you can see clearly that immediately price did what? Immediately price made another drop to the downside. I was like, you know what? I'm just closing my trade manually, because I didn't understand what the price was really doing. So immediately price did what? Immediately price moved. I think I took my TP, I closed the trade manually just about this zone, something like that. And price was just about here. Price just corrects, and I was like, you know what? Let me just close the trade manually. I told all my community members to just close the trade manually, and we all closed it. And I mean, we are done for this week. Alright, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are the trades that I took within this week, and you guys can clearly see such a profitable week, and I'm really happy that I didn't enjoy it alone. I enjoyed this with my members in my Telegram group, and they were all happy, giving positive reactions to how this week really went. Alright, so guys, I'll end the video here. If you want to join my Telegram group, I'll leave the link right in the description below. Check it out for further reference, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.